What is up, guys and girls? Hurricane Liz here, and in this video we talk about what budget is required for you to start a Walmart dropshipping store. And there's basically two options. There's the do-it-yourself method and or hiring a Walmart automation team. And if you haven't seen my other videos on how to find the perfect Walmart automation team, I highly recommend you do so. And I also recommend you hit the subscribe button. Other than that, I'm super fired up for this video. I hope you're fired up. Let's go ahead and do this. All right, guys and girls, so here we have our two different options when starting a Walmart store. And I promise this is gonna be fast, this is gonna be furious. It's gonna take just a couple minutes of your time to listen to this and really decide if you have the budget to do either one of these. Because I've seen a lot of questions below like, Liz, I've got $1,500 to my name. What kind of store do I start? So let's start with the can you even start a store option. And remember, as always, you've got my email below in the description. If you want to talk about starting a Walmart store or how much money you have available to start one, feel free to email me. I will personally respond and get on a call with you and we'll talk about your options. But hopefully this video outlines the options you have. So let's talk about the budget required for each of these. We'll first start with the DIY method. With the DIY method, what you've got to be aware of is your biggest barrier for entry will be getting your store approved. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm gonna be straight up with you. Very small percentage of you will be able to do this on your own. So technically, I'm gonna recommend that you do hire a team. I've got a guy that does this for $2.5K. He'll guarantee the store approval. If you want information for that, again, below, email me. He'll guarantee that approval. If you get disapproved on your first try, you can no longer use that LLC. That's right, I'm saying it. You can't use that LLC anymore. So then if you want to use my guy or any other service, you're going to have to create a completely brand new LLC. So keep that in mind. However, let's say you get in there yourself, right? And your cost is $0 for starting that store. So store starting, we'll just put store approval here. We'll just put it's free, right? Store approval is free. All right. So then the next thing that you'll need is you're going to need to either decide. You're going to need to learn this. So you're going to need to dig through somewhere or just try to put a little bit of elbow grease in there. And you can also do this for free. Now, I'm not guaranteeing you'll learn it for free. You might have to pay somebody to teach you. There's no current course out there on this, but in the meantime, you're going to have to figure this out yourself. So that's another cost that a lot of people don't take into consideration. And they just jump into it and then they're left like, what do I do if returns happen? What do I do if this happens? And that's a benefit that you have if you learn from somebody or you took a course and you know what to do. If you have to figure it out yourself, it could be scary. You could get suspended. Things like that could happen. The next expense is to actually hire somebody to source things. Now, this is not going to be free. It will be free if you decide to do this yourself, but let's face it, are you going to want to sit there for 8 hours a day trying to figure out which products will sell well on Walmart that are for sale on Amazon or on any other site? The answer to that is probably no. It could take up to 8 hours of your time a day to find between 30 and 50 products just to list on your store. So if you think about that, the stores that I was showing you that did upwards of $40,000 of sales in a single month, that store had over 1,700 products listed on the particular store. And if I'm finding, let's even say at the high end, 50 products a day, it's going to take me nearly 34 days to find 1,700 products of my own time. So if I'm hiring a VA in the Philippines and I'm even paying them something like $3.50 an hour, we'll say, and they're working 8 hours a week, that's $28 a day. That's $28 a day. And if they need to work 34 days, that's going to be a total of $1,000 that I'll have to pay them just to be able to get that many products on my store. So sourcing is going to cost you at least $1,000 per month if you're paying them $3.50. Now, if you choose to just stay with those products, then good luck, because of the simple fact that that could take you for a while, but those products will gradually fall off because Amazon runs out of stock in them and they also raise the price on them. So that's what it's going to cost you for sourcing. Now, that is probably going to be the most expensive thing. You will need to find a returns warehouse if you do stick to this game and you can't receive packages at your house. So you're going to have to do a returns warehouse that could cost you somewhere around the neck of $150 a month. And the other thing that you'll have to find is you'll probably have to use some sort of software for tracking and or for just helping you source. And this could run anywhere between, I would say the software for both of those would run about $300 a month. So this is what you're looking at overall costs in addition to your time. And I don't think I left anything here other than the big one, which let's go ahead and talk about it. We'll talk about what you need in order to have available credit on your credit card, right? This is a big one. available credit on your card. This, I'm going to tell you that you're going to need at least 15K to have a store that can hit up to 30,000 a month. If you have any more than that, congratulations. That's fantastic. You can scale your store up much higher. If you don't have more than that, then you might not see very high totals, but that's perfectly fine. So altogether, this comes out to about $16,450 that you need for your DIY store. And you're going to have to put in the most valuable resource that's going to cost you the most amount of money altogether, which is your time to put this all together, which it's going to be a lot of time, people, especially if you have to do the sourcing. That was a total of, what I say, 34 days at 8 hours per day. Now let's talk about the automation team. There usually are only a couple fees involved here. And let's talk about what those fees are. The first one is they might have a store approval. A lot of them don't come with the store approved. So the store approval, I've seen the good ones have the store approvals that get approved in less than a week are $2,500, which I'm perfectly fine with paying because of the fact that I want my store fast. I want my store furious. And then you'll also have the startup amount. So the startup with most teams is going to run about anywhere between 17.5K all the way on up to, I've seen some as high as 50K. I'm not kidding, people. Like it's high. Don't go with those high ones. Usually there's no rhyme or reason to why they're so high. I like to stick around the 17.5 or 25K mark, and I'm usually good with anything that's in that range. But 50K, they're smoking crack. I don't know who they are. I don't care that they have 100,000 YouTube followers. Most of them have 100,000 YouTube followers and no e-commerce background. They come from something completely different. And those guys, they don't know shit about e-commerce. So I would go with somebody that has a solid years and years of doing e-com, and there's not a lot of people out there that do that. That's the single biggest red flag for me ever. So let's talk about the next fee that they have is just, they will have some software here and they will have returns, but they're pretty much to give you a discount because they're your partner. At least the good ones do. So I'd say like on the software, you'd be looking at, sometimes it's free, sometimes it's like 100. It just depends. And then the last things are obviously, available credit. Now, most of these teams are going to want you to have at least 20K and higher. And the reason for that is because they want to scale these stores after the 3 to 4 month period to the moon. They want to try to get them, pump them to 80 to 100K. And you're going to need a lot of available credit in order to do that. Now, the terrific thing about this is that your initial time that you invest in starting this up is just getting your paperwork together. And then on the back end, all the time that you spend is just making sure that the available credit is properly paid for and that there's enough money for the team to spend and buy more and more products. So these are the cost differences. Yeah, this one obviously looks like a lot more than this one, but you have to ask yourself at the end of the day, do you have the money to invest in the automation team? And if not, you're going to have to devote the time to learning the DIY method. So right now, there is no current course on the market, but I do have a very good friend that has been doing Walmart automation for the past 3 years that is coming out with a course very soon. So make sure you're on my Walmart list below to be able to gain access to that course and a heck of a lot more. He's sold as much as $584,000 in total sales in a single month on Walmart alone. So you do not want to miss that. Other than that, questions and comments below, I always personally answer them, and I'll see you all next time.